What is going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages? Welcome back. Starting Doc After Dark a little early tonight because we broke at 5 p.m. instead of 6 because the Albion servers went down. We are going to do something a little different tonight, and that is we are going to play some World of Warcraft. Really started digging the Holy Paladin, started really enjoying the Holy Paladin, so I want to look more into the Holy Paladin tonight. But before we do, I want to have a little bit of a discussion about the current situation that Black Desert finds itself in. And I want to have that discussion with, at least in my opinion, the #1 MMO community on Twitch. So what I'd like to talk about for a little bit this evening before we jump into some World of Warcraft is I'd love to talk about Black Desert, Archeage, and Albion Online. Pay for convenience or pay to win? Which one are you playing, if any? Which one would you play, or are you staying away from all of them? So here we are on Discord, and I want to give a big shout out to Bezor, Demivore, El Tosto, Shiyoyi, whose mic is muted right now, Ushido, and You've Been Boxed. If you want to join in on the discussion, we'd love to have you. I will put a link to the Discord here in the Twitch channel, and you too can join us on Discord and be part of this discussion. And it won't be a very long discussion, but I definitely want to talk about it because it's definitely something on everybody's mind. I mean, Black Desert has the Black Desert community is so upset over what's going on that they are literally not playing the game. They are in major cities waving their flags to where it made it on to PC Gamer, the website. The community is apparently a good chunk, a noticeable part of the community seems to be in uproar. So we're joined by a few people here, and I guess the first thing I'd like to ask in this this kind of pseudo talk show format here is, what is everybody's thoughts about the Black Desert situation? Did they go too far? And anybody here on Discord can open up and let us know what they think. And obviously, since this is kind of a new thing that we're doing, just a community discussion here, just try to be respectful, try not to walk over each other on comms and everything. But I would love to know what you think. I'll kind of be the driver of the discussion, if you would. But yeah, do you think Black Desert went too far? Would anybody like to kick that off?
I will. I was actually looking to get back into it until that dropped, and I says, nope, no more for me. WoW will be the main one that I play.
Okay. What is it? What is? Well, let me ask that next. Does anybody else want to give some feedback on did Black Desert go too far, or are people blowing this out of proportion?
No, I think it's too far. I think that the shit was already too high price as it was on the shop, and now it's going to totally bork the economy.
I got you. Ushido, did you want to comment on that?
I actually haven't played Black Desert here in a while, so I was wondering if you guys could clarify what happened.
Yeah, absolutely. So basically what happened was Black Desert, Pearl Abyss, Dom, Kokoro, whoever the hell they are, they decided that they are going to allow you to sell marketplace items on the in-game marketplace trading post. So yeah, I think it's 5 items a week per account, I think, which, I mean, we all know you can bypass that, no problem. But yeah, they're basically allowing you to sell Pearl shop items that you buy with real life money in game. And it's one thing that's interesting is apparently some people are like quoting my interview with Joska. Did he say something in my interview that like they would never do that? I don't remember. It was so long ago. Maybe we'll watch it in a little bit and see. Yeah, apparently people are using the video that I had where I interviewed him, and I guess he said something that no, we're never gonna do what happened in Archeage or whatever the case may be. So yeah. So what are your thoughts, Ushido? Do you think they went too far or what?
my personal thoughts would be it would depend on what is actually in the Pearl shop, because obviously, if they're talking ghillie suits and whatnot, then yeah, it's definitely gone too far. Because you're literally just taking one of the most OP items in the game to make a massive profit on it, so that you can then use that profit to obviously gear yourself up to the max, like you would have done in Archeage with the you know what I mean, the what was it called, the
There
what were
was
those
so
things in
much.
Archeage?
There was so much in Archeage. I couldn't even begin to.
The premium
tell you,
thing,
so.
the ones that you use to keep your premium going for free, those coins.
I mean,
Oh, the
Apex.
Apex.
Yeah, the Apex.
Okay.
Because I hate games that do that kind of thing. If you can, I prefer games where if there is an auction house type of deal, you can't use marketplace items on it, or you can't put the best of the best gear on it, you know? So that either way, the best of the best stuff still has to be earned through in-game playtime. You can't just say, here's a credit card, now I'm going to take that.
Gotcha.
I got some questions.
Yeah, Box, what's up, man? Go for it.
Because I haven't played in about 2 patches. I kind of gave up on the whole thing. You said you can only sell them in the in-game market. Is that true? Like it has to be a certain point before you can go to that market and buy the items, or?
I mean, what they're allowing you to do is basically, like if I wanted to purchase, I'm assuming it's anything. Plasma, your mic just went shit. If from what I don't think there are any limitations on what you can sell. I think you can just grab any item from the cash shop and then chuck it onto the in-game marketplace, which is, for lack of a better term, an auction house, if you would, and then other players can use their silver to buy those items.
Okay, so let's say I just started off. I'm like level 5. Can I buy those items and equip them right then and there?
Yep. If you have the silver, yes, you can.
Yeah. See, the thing about Archeage, and this is, and I guess I'll briefly segue into Albion Online's kind of difference there. Okay, I'll segue into that.
Like Archeage or Black Desert?
Right. That's what I'm saying. So in Black Desert, there is no gear. There is no level requirement for gear. You see, unlike Albion Online, which has a similar kind of deal where you can convert in-game silver to real-life gold or real-life gold to silver and then buy gear. In Black Desert, you do not have to train to use gear. Now, your level is still going to, obviously have an effect on PvP. You're not going to go out as a level 2 in max level gear and wreck a level 50 and shit like that. But there is no... I'm getting paid by Blizzard to play WoW. I wish, man. Show me the fucking paycheck, please. So yeah, in Black Desert you can definitely equip anything that you purchase from the auction house. Yes.
Okay, so it's still though, even if you have a little. I want to think about it this way. Like I said, I haven't played in a little bit. If equipping that gear, it's not going to make you just instantly super strong. Is it more like buying heirlooms on WoW? Is that basically what it is?
It's basically like this, and I can see this happening. Say you buy like a ghillie suit, you throw it up on the marketplace, that sells. You then buy a lot of black stones. You can get all your gear up into like a +7 right out of the gate with the black stones along with your weapon. So in a way, you're buying your power in essence.
Shit, couldn't you just buy a +15 weapon?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, basically. I mean, the way it works is, from what I understand, you can sell up to 5 items from the cash shop in the marketplace. You then obviously use that silver to then turn around and gear yourself up or buy whatever you want to buy, with your silver. Now, there's a flip side to this, and I don't know if this flip side is going to be as popular or as embraced as obviously all of the riots and all of the craziness. It's one of those things where, let's say player A doesn't have the time. To grind, the necessary stuff. Streamer view, calm down. Calm down, buddy. If you don't like what you see, you're more than welcome to come back when I'm doing what you want. You know what I'm saying? But calm down. Now, if someone doesn't have the time to grind that gear, and they go ahead and use some of their real life money to purchase some items off of the cash shop so that they can be competitive with the rest of the player base that does have the time to do it. I mean, is that such a bad thing? And I'm being completely neutral here. Is that such a bad thing? And if so, why? If not, why? I mean, why? Is it acceptable? Is it okay? I mean, I guess the argument could be that, well, that's great, but at the same time, what about the guy that does have the time and is grinding and he's going to use the cash shop to get that advantage over the guy that can't grind? So it's a very slippery slope, isn't it? It's a real slippery slope.
Yeah, because it turns into what I am coining right here, right now, as pay to advance, almost.
Well,
If they limited the higher, you know what I mean? Like, let's say they said, all right, you can only purchase a +7 or some shit with it. Did some limitations on what you could do, but there's no way to do that, right? So people are going to be able to go out there and just max out their tune from level 1, max. You know what I mean? Get max level.
yeah.
It just throws it all out of balance.
Yeah, no, there's definitely a balance issue. It definitely upsets at a minimum, it upsets the economy tremendously. It gets absolutely crazy. So I can definitely understand why people are upset. I can definitely appreciate why people are pissed off about the situation. That much I can't contest with. Now, let's talk a little bit about Archeage and Black Desert, or Black Desert and Archeage. Which one, in your opinion, is worse for wear? Archeage, that launched as a free-to-play title, so we knew we were getting a cash shop. We didn't expect it to be pay-to-win, or as dangerous as it is now. Or Black Desert, that sold us on the buy-to-play option, made us think that it was going to be a a Guild Wars 2 situation, and this is what we're dealing with. I'll raise my volume up a little bit because apparently you guys can't hear me, so hopefully I'm louder now. So which one is worse? Now, she said she was level 118. I find it interesting that you guys didn't like BDO when you're talking about its economy. Well, read the title. The title says we are discussing what we're discussing. Shouldn't be a surprise of any kind that we are talking about it. That's totally fine. That's what the discussion is about. So my question is, what are you more insulted with at this point, Archeage or Black Desert, and why? Anybody on Discord, feel free to chime in.
Definitely
Personally,
Black Desert. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, once again, because I didn't really get into Black Desert as much as I hoped I would, Archeage, because to a point, especially think about 6 or 7 months after it launched, the game became almost unplayable to, say, the casual player. Because if you wanted your subscription, which you basically needed to make the game far easier to play, as a casual, you had to spend every single moment trying to earn yourself the gold that you needed for these Apex, meaning you couldn't really focus on your gear, which then threw you out of the metagame, PvP-wise and PvE-wise. You couldn't do anything. And then it hurt even more because the people with their credit cards could just go buy what they wanted and then come after you when you're going to do these trade runs to make your money to try to stay viable within the game. It came down to a point where it just felt completely unplayable unless you had the time or the credit card to do it.
Okay, fair enough. Anybody want to and chat, please participate. You're all welcome to join us on Discord. It's an open discussion, and it's not going to be all night. It's just for the next few minutes, before we jump into some World of Warcraft. I wanted to get this out of the way so that we could highlight it and we could pretty much we can put it to the side, and whenever someone comes in, hey, what do you feel about BDO and all this other shit, we can plug it in, and now we've got feedback from the community in here. So Ushido says that he feels Archeage was kind of the biggest slap in the face. Let's get someone else on Discord. What do you think, Archeage or BDO?
I was gonna say BDO, but now I think they're about on the same level for me. Archeage was that game that it happened fast. Like, it was just instant. Like, I was having fun. Next thing you know, it's just shit just broke and we got really bad really fast. Black Desert Online kind of hit you slowly because you buy this game to get in and play. So you're like, okay, I've already put money into this. I don't want to put any more.
Right.
And then here you go now. They're making it where people can get an advantage on you if they make more money than you. It's a little harsh,
Right. I agree. Anybody else want to add to that?
I too was. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Plasma.
Okay. Okay, I will try to speak in English, but yeah. I think BDO is far worse than Archeage because to even play the game or even to make something in the game, you already need to pay money to get into the game because it's buy to play. But in Archeage, they never forced you to pay. I mean, even if it's shit to play the game without a patron, you can do it. And in BDO, they made so many advertisements to get trust from the people that they will never do it pay to win or make it pay to win, and now they are doing everything to get more money out of the game, and are even enabling the costumes to sell in the in-game auction house. I mean, you already paid, like, I don't know how much it is. I think it's 30 or 50 bucks to play the game, and now they are like betraying you. And in Archeage, you never had to pay. You paid because you wanted to have patron to how should I say it?
To get the advantage, to get the little advantage that it gave you.
Yeah,
Or the
to
big
get the
advantage.
advantage.
Right.
And so you can keep on with the high players, but in BDO, it's far worse because you paid many money, and after like 1.5 year, they changed their mind to pay to win. Yeah.
Well said. Anybody else want to comment? Go ahead, Crixia.
I was just saying is that they kind of burned me on both. I mean, I was a big Archeage player with going in, and I had to pay a subscription to be able to own land. And then they started adding in all that extra stuff for the convenience, which got it really close to pay to play. And you almost had to play it almost full time. Whereas with BDO, it kind of snuck up on you, like the other person said. And I can see it barreling out of control because I do remember one item in the marketplace which would help with the durability of an item where you failed it would increase it. So that is, I've been burned out. I've been burned by both, and I'm not going back to them.
Okay. Does anybody else want to give feedback on Discord or Twitch chat? Zomac, go ahead, buddy.
All right. On most of the subjects, I agree with the guys, but when it comes to the cash market and what they did, if they made it where you could buy plus 15 armor, I would agree. That's a problem. But what they did is with the ghillie suit, here's the thing. They're not going to sell enough ghillie suits to flood the market and everybody got rich. I think you're going to see kind of a weird fluctuation in the market from it, but it's not going to be something that makes people so rich real quick that they're going to profit from it. What they do now with the other forms of making money will still be prevalent.
Well said, Zomac. Well said. Anybody else want to weigh in before I give my thoughts on it? Feel free, guys. It's an open community discussion, guys.
Yep.
What's up, Matt? Go for it, buddy. What do you think? BDO or Archeage? Which one kind of hit you in the balls or the gut worse?
Could I do like an overall statement?
Sure. Concise, yes. Go ahead.
Okay, well, we're seeing a lot of MMOs give these, pay to level up the max level scrolls and all that kind of stuff. And I think this is maybe just the next step. I mean, I know in Guild Wars 2 you could buy a legendary weapon on the auction house before they changed it. I think in World of Warcraft maybe you can transfer money into something. maybe this is just the way MMOs are going in the future.
Well, I'm gonna say this, and and then I'll open it up to any of you guys again. I think I really have to give Plasma Gun a tap on the shoulder. Take away any animosity that I may have for the way BDO has been run, and the same thing with Archeage. I will say this. I think BDO kind of hit me in the gut a little more because, at the end of the day, Plasma Gun is 100% correct. You didn't have to pay a penny in Archeage. Literally. You literally could install the game for free, jump on in, play the game, get a feel for what it was. You could not do that. You cannot do that in Black Desert. You have to pay to enter that world. You have to pay for that. And I think that the MMO community had certain expectations when Dom and Pearl Abyss made that statement. When they said, you are going to pay to play this game. I think a lot of people felt like it would be kind of like Guild Wars 2, a very controlled situation. And let's be honest here. Let's be honest here. Pets. The pets in BDO are about as close to pay to win as you could possibly get. It's so close that it upsets my definition of pay to win, because it is such a significant advantage. It really is, to be able to do something as simple as auto looting, that some would say that would be pay to win. I don't, but I will acknowledge that it is so freaking close to pay to win that it's not even funny. So there are already, and not only that, but the ghillie suit. Now, I showed on stream how I felt that the ghillie suit was a substantial advantage. Okay, I showed how I felt it was. There's always a debate about that in this community, and that's okay. But I felt that the ghillie suit was pay to win because it was a distinct PvP advantage, And so I would have to say that even though Archeage churns my stomach, what really makes me want to throw up is Black Desert's false promise of a buy-to-play situation, and then them capitalizing further on the buy-to-play with a cash shop, with a free-to-play seemingly cash shop. And it's a very disheartening situation, and it's one that I hope that they fix. I hope that they reverse this situation, because I definitely think it's really bad. I think it's really, really, really bad. Some people are saying that this is their final cash grab before World of Warcraft Legion. And that's an interesting statement. But the next question I have for the community, and I notice a few new faces in here. Tommy T's wifey, Lego Maego, Flynn, what's going on, everybody? Welcome. My next question is this, and then we'll get the Discord feedback, we'll get your feedback. We're going to move into World of Warcraft in about 20 minutes. So if you want to leave and come back in about 20, that's fine. Is your vision of Eastern MMOs tainted? Have you changed your mind when it comes to Eastern MMOs coming over to the West? And I'll give my thoughts on that after I hear from the community. So anybody want to start?
Yeah, I have a question. I don't keep track of which MMOs come from where. Which ones are the Eastern ones?
Archeage, Devilian, Black Desert, what else?
Blade and Soul.
Blade and Soul.
Just about every current popular MMO has come over from the eastern side.
Just about. If it ain't WoW, basically, yeah. I mean, it's almost every single, except for WoW, Final Fantasy 14, Guild Wars 2, but yeah. And then coming soon, Revelations on online coming soon, right? I mean, that's a Korean one, I think. Lost Ark Lost Ark is a Korean one, if I'm not mistaken. Moonlight Blade would be overseas as well. So, so yeah. So what are your thoughts?
I'm
Well,
definitely a
go ahead.
lot less wary of jumping on these hype trains like I used to be, because with Archeage, Black Desert, Blade and Soul, all of them, as soon as I heard about them and saw what they were potentially going to be, for months I would just be waiting for these games. I would pay for these, these betas so I could get in and play, only to be later disappointed either by faulty management or pay to win cash shops. So I'm definitely going to let these things make their stake in the world before I decide they're worth playing,
Yeah, yeah, it makes sense. It makes 100% sense. Box, what are your thoughts, buddy?
Exactly what he said. I've done the same thing. I think it's just as soon as I see Docnation start getting into a game, I buy it. I've always been bad about that, and these last 3 or 4 that I've done, they've really hit me. And I'm definitely gonna start letting them to get out for like 2-3 months before I buy them now.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I definitely understand. Crixia, you were blinking. Did you want to give some feedback on that?
It's basically what they've all been saying is that someone's hot micing.
Yeah, 2 times. Fix your mic, buddy. There you go.
That I'm just going to be more cautious. I'm a little leery. I mean, I've played plenty of MMOs from overseas, going back all the way to Phantasy Star Online, which was another whole mess. But I've gotten to the point being where I'm still being more leery about just riding the hype train like everybody else is saying.
Okay. Does anybody else want to give some feedback on Discord? How do you feel about Eastern MMOs coming to the market? Plasma, go ahead.
Sorry, I just wanted to add something about BDO, if it's okay.
Yeah, go for it. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say, I think it's just the start of BDO adding items to the cash shop, but I think the day where BDO will start to die, like Archeage, is if they let you sell pets in the auction house. I think this would be far worse than costumes or the ghillie suit.
Yeah, they're definitely. I mean, I don't see how BDO isn't going to allow you to sell pets. I mean, I know for me that would be the first thing I go to personally. If I was going to sell something for silver, I'm going for the pets. I mean, 100%. You know what I mean? Absolutely. We got a question from chat. I'll answer because he keeps freaking spamming it. How was Blade and Soul handled? I mean, Blade and Soul wasn't really handled badly, but it was and it wasn't, because the bots were a real situation for a really long time. Yes. And the lack of optimization really hurt Blade and Soul. And those 2 things alone there were really they were rough, man. It was rough. So it wasn't necessarily that NCSoft didn't go pay to win, from what I understand. But it was just it was other things that kind of put an incredibly linear end game. I'm talking about you literally logged in and it was, okay, I need to do my dailies. And that was all it was. You were playing a daily game. And then later on, after the bots and stuff like that, I believe it did go pay to win. At some point. At some point, they opened the floodgate and went full pay to win, but it wasn't at the beginning. But I don't want to speculate on that because I don't know. So I want to get some new voices in here. I see a lot of people joining us. So if you want to comment on the question right now that we're talking about, that the topic is, are you jaded? I mean, are you as open to Eastern MMOs coming over to the West as you were prior to these situations?
Hey Doc, can I just input one quick thing?
Quick, yes.
Revelations Online is being hosted by the same company that did Skyforge, so just be wary.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know. I know that. Oh yeah, I know who's bringing that stuff over. So yeah. So anybody? Are you guys good? Everybody good? Matt's amazing. Go ahead.
Well, I'll say before Blade and Soul and BDO came out, I was very jaded with Eastern MMOs. I felt like, they develop games for their side of the world, and they don't suit the Western market very well. And honestly, it was you that got me into Blade and Soul and BDO and stuff, and actually, allowed me to have fun with those games. But just seen what's going on with these games. It's just brought that jadedness back, and I don't think I can play another Eastern MMO after this. I feel like Guild Wars 2, World of Warcraft, SWOTOR, my favorite MMOs have been Western MMOs, and I think that's because it's easier to talk to the developers, and they suit their games better for a Western audience.
Oh, well said. Well said. Anybody else before we move on? Okay. Well, my thoughts, because as I said, I'm giving the community an opportunity to give their feedback before I give mine. My thoughts is I am absolutely jaded as fuck. I am jaded as fuck. Will I continue to buy into alphas and betas for Eastern MMOs coming over here? You bet your ass I will, because that's my job. And I take it very seriously. My job is to do that so that you don't have to. And so, yes, because I am a streamer, because I'm an MMO variety broadcaster, I will continue to do that. But if it wasn't because I was a broadcaster, I would definitely be very, very careful about what I invest in. Very careful. So those are my thoughts. Now, moving into another topic here, we talked about Archeage and we talked about Black Desert. Obviously, Albion Online is also in the title. So Albion Online is actually coming from Germany, I think, right? That those guys are German, I think.
I think so.
I think they're German.
Yeah, they're German.
So it's not an Eastern. Well, I don't know. I don't want to show my lack of geography or whatever. But anyway, it's not a Korean MMO. Now, Albion Online's been the source of some of its own controversy when it went from free to play to buy to play, and kind of unveiled its own shop, its own thing where you can purchase premium with either in-game currency or real life money, or you can purchase wait, what can you? Oh yeah, you can convert in-game silver into gold, and you can convert gold into in-game silver. So my question for you guys is Albion going the same way? Do you see Albion going the same way as BDO or Archeage? Do you feel it's too soon to tell? Do you feel that they've got limitations in place, either via the gameplay mechanics or the shop mechanics? Zomax, thank you for 100 bits. Thank you, buddy, for cheering. Thank you. So that is my question to those of you on Discord, and of course to those of you in the chat. So I want to know, what do you guys think on Discord? Go right ahead, blink your lights if you want the floor, and I'll give it to you. Let's take a look at let's take a listen at Sub Distinction. What are your thoughts, buddy?
Yeah, so I've read a lot of the people on the on the Albion Online Reddit have been going off about how being able to buy the gold and stuff is pay to win, but I don't really feel like that's accurate, because yeah, you could go and buy like some tier 8 whatever thing, but like you said a couple nights ago, you have to like work your way up there. You have to wear tier 1, 2, 3 all the way up to be able to even wear that gear.
Okay, and I'm gonna give my feedback at the end, guys. I'm gonna give my thoughts at the end, and we're almost to World of Warcraft. We're gonna do some Holy Paladin gameplay. I've been falling in love with the Holy Paladin, so don't get me mad. Johnny, you can certainly chime in. Yes, absolutely. Blink your light if you want the floor. Boxed, and then we're gonna go box 2 times, and then Bezor.
I think there's going to be a lot of people worrying about paying for the gold and transferring it over to silver. I don't think it's gonna be such a big problem. These people who want to get these same benefits as a monthly, let's say it's easy. Like say you wanna get this gold. If you go and sell you one ox, it doesn't take long to get a farm up for that. That'll get you in this market right now 200,000 silver. It only takes 44,000 silver to get you 2,000 gold coins. That can buy you a month of subscription. It's really not gonna be hard to earn this gold, and I don't think it's gonna have a big problem.
Okay. 2 times. What are your thoughts, buddy?
Yeah, Doc, can you hear me?
Yeah, buddy, we can hear you.
Okay. I think the whole thing with pay to play and all that in this Albion game that you're talking about, I think the problem is companies, they know that they're losing players, so they have to think of a way to bring their money in other ways. And as far as pay to win, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't even known about Archeage. And I know I'm a play person, and I spend a lot of money in Archeage, probably over 10 grand. So, I mean, if anybody's bitter over Archeage, it would definitely be me. But I think that's how companies got to make their money because, number one, it's a free game, right? It's free to play, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so when you talk about World of Warcraft, you're paying one way or another, right? So WoW's not, but you got to pay for their time. But they also now you can boost the character now for $60 to 100. So isn't that overpower when everybody in the beginning had to level all the way to 100? Now they're giving you that. Plus, you can sell their tokens. So, I mean, I think all games have that motto because there is a lot of different games, and a lot of players are spreading out to different games. And so they're just trying, I think, to hold that last bit of money to keep their game because they got to keep it running somehow. If nobody's paying, who's going to keep the lights on?
True. I mean, from a pure business perspective, very, very true. Sure. Good input. Bezor, did you have something?
Yeah, I play Albion quite a bit, and for me, it's more of a pay for convenience deal, right? You have to level up the gear you want to use in order to get the next tier. So at the end of the day, at the highest levels of the game, it's PvP with full loot. So if you convert your gold to silver, if you need to, if you don't already have your shit together and you've got your stuff in the bank, you can spend a little bit of your gold to re-gear yourself to get right back out in PvP again, where you could lose your shit all over again. So I don't see it as a big deal. I mean, it takes a hell of a long time to get to max level with your gear anyway. So personally, I'm not concerned about the gold to silver, silver to gold bullshit.
Okay, fair enough. Anybody else on Discord want to give some feedback? I mean, the question is, Albion Online, pay to win, pay for convenience, or too soon to tell? So anybody at all? All right, I think we got everybody's feedback. I'll give my thoughts. I think it's too soon to tell. I personally think it's too soon to tell whether or not Albion Online will be pay to win or pay for convenience. I mean, there are two sides of the spectrum. There's the Archeage side, where things get a little ridiculous, and there's the Guild Wars 2 side, where it's just about as perfect as you can be. I mean, Guild Wars 2 does it right. Yes, you can convert gems into gold. Yes, you can convert gold into gems. But there really isn't such a distinct advantage over doing so that the game could be called pay to win. I guess if I had to lean on anything, it would probably be that Albion Online's current their current way of doing stuff is going to be more towards Guild Wars 2 and not so much Archeage. But again, we're gonna have to see how it all comes down, right? We're gonna have to see how it all breaks down. It's gonna be interesting, but I'm not quite ready to make a judgment on Albion Online. I'm not there yet. So, if you're just joining the channel, we're doing a little bit of a pseudo talk show, and it's just about wrapping up. But we asked a couple of questions. We asked, what was worse or what is worse in your mind, the way BDO conducted their business practice or the way Archeage conducted theirs. We asked people if you are now jaded when it comes to Eastern MMOs coming over to the Western market. we asked if you felt Albion Online was currently pay to win, pay for convenience, or too soon to tell. And we just got a tip. Mr. Cantos! Brother, thank you so much, man. Thank you so much for the $10 tip. You know you could have cheered that and got yourself a little icon, yeah? Yeah? But dude, I will take it. That is a lap dance. Actually, no, that's just a table dance. Actually, no, that's not even, that's a look at me while she's on the stage. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. I think so, Plasma. I think so. I don't know everything. I don't know everything about. I don't know everything about the cheering stuff yet. I'm still learning it, but I mean, I think it's a total. I think it's a total. But if you want to try it, go ahead, and I can reimburse you if you want. If it doesn't give you the badge, I don't mind that, man. I can definitely help you out there. So I think that's pretty much all I have in terms of, you know, gathering feedback from the community. What I'd like to do before we switch over to some real World of Warcraft playing here is I'd like to see if anybody on Discord or chat have any MMO related questions for me. That's what I'd like to I'd like to know. So if anybody on Discord has any MMO related questions regarding tonight's topics or MMOs in general or whatever, this is a really cool opportunity for you guys to do that. You can blink your light right now, and I will give you the floor. I see Crixia. Hold on, Crixia. Who else? Ushido. All right, Crix. Hold on. Crixia and Ushido, and I think that's everybody, right? Okay, Crixia, what's your question? MMO related.
I was thinking, and this is probably on everybody's minds, does this mean BDO is finally over?
For me, no. There's still a shot at me jumping back into BDO and taking a look at it. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, the situation, quite frankly, it doesn't change. It does not change for me or for you as viewers. What other MMO sandbox do you want me to do? Because Albion Online is beta. I'm not gonna invest, hours every single day into a sandbox MMO that's gonna wipe. I'm not gonna do that. I can't do Archeage because I don't know what server to go on. All of the servers are fucking dead in NA. All of them. Disasters coming here. Disasters coming there. Nazar is fucking dead. Olo is fucking dead. They are dead. So if Archeage comes out with 3.0, which we know it is, and they do a real fresh start server the right way, I might jump into there. Now remember, I said sandbox, guys. I said sandbox MMO. I'm not going to jump into another theme park when I've got fucking the king of them all, World of Warcraft, already getting anywhere between 4 to 6 hours every day, guys. You see? I want to mix it up a little bit and give you guys a different take on the MMO genre. What better way to do that than to give you a theme park and a sandbox? You see what I'm saying? So no, BDO isn't completely out of the question. I'm a lot more skeptical, but no, it's not out of the question. Ushido, what's your question, buddy?
Just a simple one for you, and this is from a game player's perspective, not a streamer's perspective.
Okay.
Any MMO or really any game coming out that you know of, would you recommend any of them personally? Because I'm looking for something new.
All right. Say that I see streamer view. I see your bounty. So give me a second. I want to read your bounty. But ask that question one more time. I'm listening full attention. Go ahead.
Okay. It was just, as a gamer who loves games, which of any kind of upcoming game, be it, PvP game, MMO, anything, do you see being worth waiting for? Well,
that's a very, 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 very broad question. from a non-MMOs perspective, if you're looking for a twist on the single player genre that will still give you an opportunity to meet with other people, No Man's Sky's gotta be top of the list. But I will warn everybody, if you're expecting No Man's Sky to play like an MMO, you are gonna be severely disappointed. Severely. Please do not buy No Man's Sky thinking that you're gonna hang out with your buddies. They said it themselves. It's not an MMO. But it could definitely be, it could definitely be fun with the, the whole exploration and the possibility of maybe running into somebody or running into clues that somebody was there. So I would say No Man's Sky. From a shooter perspective, Battlefield 1. I mean, I'm excited for that. And Squad. I would keep my eye on Squad. I think they just added vehicles, so that's interesting. From a completely different perspective, For Honor looks very interesting as well. And then from an MMO perspective, out of all of the MMOs that I know that are coming out, all 11 that I named so many times, I would say Crowfall, I would say Lost Ark, I would say Revelations Online looks pretty cool, man. I gotta be honest. Even though I'm skeptical, I mean, Revelations Online looks pretty damn good. Those are the MMOs that I'm kind of most hyped for in terms of brand new, brand spanking new MMOs. So I think that's what I'm looking for. Yeah, man. I think that's what I'm looking for there. So
Okay.
I hope that answers your question, man.
It does. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, man. Does anybody else on Discord have any MMO related questions at all? No? Okay.